Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the contents in this channel. I would love to thank my subscribers for all the support, for all the kind comments. And please like, share, and subscribe. Today, I would like to continue talking about the case or summarizing the case of 5-year-old Summer Moon Utwells. Summer was a 5-year-old girl who was reported missing in Rogersville, Tennessee at 6:30 Tennessee time, and this happened on the 15th of October 2021. It's been over 16 months. We haven't heard any new updates about Summer. When Summer was reported missing, an endangerment alert was put out there immediately. Law enforcement put out an endangerment alert. They put out a huge search for Summer, and they couldn't find Summer, obviously. While they put out the endangerment alert, Candus Wells called Robin, but Robin was busy in the church with some children event in the church, so she decided to call David Dodson. David Dodson works in the church too. He's been living in Hawkins County from March to 15 June when Summer went missing. David Dodson told the Unmasked, please like, share, and subscribe to them. They're really excellent at what they do. He gave an interview. Allison even gave an interview on the 4th of July 2021 with the Unmasked with Leslie, and those interviews have gone down. Just that you're aware of, if you all haven't noticed, for a long time they have been taken off, and I believe that is part of evidence. So everything that was said in those interviews is something I'm sure that law enforcement doesn't want it to be seen in the public, but let's say it was too late because we took bits and pieces of those interviews. David Dawson said that he was called by Candus. He went up to Ben Hill Road, and he said that Candus told him, and the boys told him that the basement door was locked. Especially the boys. He said the boys. Sorry, he didn't say Candus, but he said the boys told him that the basement door was locked. I believe what the boys say, obviously, because Candus said that the boys were the last one who saw Summer. They were playing the video games when Summer was abducted from the basement. We've heard before from Jose, God rest his soul, rest in peace. He said that the basement door was always locked, and there was a blue sofa in front of the door, blocking people to leave the basement door. David Dodson said even that Candus Wells showed him pictures of her and the 4 boys swimming, and she said it was from that day on the 20th of December. No, sorry, on the 15th of June when Summer Wells went missing. I don't believe that David Dodson has a reason to lie, so I wonder why Candus told law enforcement another timeline that she was with Hunter, and I wonder why she told David Dodson that she was with the boys and Summer. That could be the reason that there's a gag order on this case with the boys, not because they're only minor, but I believe that there is so many different timelines that law enforcement don't want the boys to be traumatized to start with, and I don't believe they want anyone to know exactly what happened. Maybe they know what happened and they're just waiting to build this case to take them to a trial. I really believe that is possible. I know on the 28th of October, Candus was supposed to go to court so that she could try and get custody of her children. But I couldn't see that happening, and I don't believe that would happen for a very long time, or maybe never, because we have to think reasonable that these are minor boys. They were put in child negligence, child endangerment, child abuse, according to so many people who know this family. The boys were removed from the custody, and let's not forget, before that, we've heard allegedly that CPS was going to take the children, that they were coming to take the children, and especially now that you have Summer missing, that is evidence enough that these two parents are irresponsible and they're not capable of looking after children, obviously due to all the drugs, alcohol, and all these things that are keeping them focused away from the real thing, that is looking after 4 children. I'm sure that law enforcement will be talking definitely with the boys' psychologists, therapists, the same mental health counselors, psychiatrists, trying to figure out the trauma the boys have gone through. They must be still getting counseling. They are with foster families, and I believe they're doing well. So I don't see any reason why the CPS would allow these two parents who have put these children in endangerment, and one child is still missing, the 5-year-old girl who should be 6.5-year-old Summer Wells. I don't see any reason for them to especially put these 3 children back in their care when Candus is clearly drunk, high, sedated, whatever. I don't believe that's right. And then we have had the rumors, and we have 6 women, Don's 2 stepsisters, one of their daughters, and some other women that have gone to the Utah court and have filed SO offenses against Don. So we do clearly have 2 partners that are irresponsible, unpredictable, unstable, empathyless, have no remorse to be looking after these 3 beautiful babies. Because that would be completely wrong to end up giving custody of 3 children who could have witnessed their sister dying. So I do not believe per se that there's a chance for Candus unless they're taking her court to sign the rights away. She was offered to go to mental health counseling for these couple of months. I can't speak for her. We don't know where she is and what she's doing, but most likely, knowing Candus, she said herself the day she was in the hotel talking to people on an interview, when they asked about her mental health counseling, she said, I find it too boring. So when somebody prefers doing everything else except finding their children, then there's no point that they should be getting custody of these children again. I'm sure the boys have started school. They've been to school this whole year. So the teachers, the school counselor, the mental health counselors, the psychologists or therapists, psychiatrists, doctors, all of them would see the positive changes in the boys in the last year. Dawn Wells was supposed to come out yesterday, I believe, but I've heard that JLR, you can see that in Don B's channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to him. He said that JLR called the jail to see if Don was released, and they asked him all kind of questions like, who are you and what do you want to know about Don? They did not tell him yes or no if he was released, but strangely enough, they put him over to the detective who has this case. I remember his name was Detective Proots, I believe. So there's a reason that that they want everything to go through the detective. That makes me believe maybe they're trying to take Candus to court, the CPS gag order, so that they can take full custody of the children, put them in safety, and then take these two parents to the grand jury. Because we had Lance Armstrong, was his name Lance? Yeah, Lance Armstrong, the detective attorney. No, not the detective attorney, sorry, the district attorney. In this case, he did say a couple of months ago that I'm here to help the TBI and law enforcement tell them what they need to do, and maybe we may have to build up a case and take it to the grand jury. So obviously this seems like the case of the California City Boys, no body of proof. So maybe they will have to. Maybe TBI has other evidence that they're not telling us about. So I believe that Don could be actually, you never know, transferred to another. Maybe he could be transferred to Utah for the other cases that he's awaiting trial for. Or maybe they prolonged his sentence so that they could deal with Candus first. Then we have Candus, who said that a couple of months ago to BK and to other channels that she doesn't have that phone, or she didn't hand in the phone, or she handed the phone in late to law enforcement. Whatever being the case is, she had plenty of time to tamper with that phone, which should have been partly of the evidence. But then we heard, what's his name, Hunter, clearly saying that law enforcement still has his phone. Usually law enforcement has the phone for a couple of days and they upload whatever they need to, or they take it to the forensic team. When that is done, they usually give the phone back to the person. But in this case, we haven't seen that, so I guess that this is a strong evidence, because if the whereabouts that Candus is saying that she's been with her mother and Hunter, then Hunter's phone will at least confirm or debunk that. Coming back to the mental health side of Candus, like I said before, I don't see any sympathy, I don't see any empathy, I don't see any remorse. I do not see her searching for a child, not even putting out a flyer for someone. And that is concerning, that's disturbing. That is one of the reasons I've never stood up for Candus and Dawn. They have more time to be coming on YouTube the first couple of months, trying to distract everyone by having public domestic violence on TV, by being drunk. They were never hardly sober when they came. And even if they were sober, Candus used to never talk. She walked out to Dr. Phil's show. But Dawn, on the other hand, is the mouthpiece who runs around with the abduction theory. So it's a matter of maybe weeks just to fall on and see when TBI or WHJLR channel updates us about this case. But I really believe that they're preparing for a grand jury. My concern, and most of my subscribers, especially one, and she knows who She is very concerned about the boys being returned back to these lousy, irresponsible parents, and I agree with her. She has so much passion and empathy for those children, and I respect that. So hopefully, I don't believe these children will be handed out so easily to people who've already lost one child. That is just like putting the other three boys in danger, which I doubt the court wouldn't grant it. We still have Rosemary Bly, Candus Bly's sister, still missing. We haven't heard much from Candy Hera, that's Summer's grandmother. She spoke only at the start, and that was the first and last time she ever spoke. It is sad that none of these people care about this little angel, whether they sedated her, whether she overdosed, whether an accident happened, or whether they pre planned something, or whether they sold Summer. I hope it eventually comes out. It's really sad, disturbing to see that's over 16 months and no arrests have come, unless it was Don who did it and they're trying to prolong his arrest. But hopefully we'll find out soon, and I believe they're trying to get the boys' case out of the way first, put them in safety because they've been traumatized enough. They don't deserve this. They're starting their life in this last 16 months, hopefully with much healthier parents who are sober, who care about them, who care about their needs, put them in proper schools, treat them like their own children, which there are many good people in the world, and then there are many bad parents, like Candice and Dawn, like Quentin, his mother. Poor Quentin, his mother Leilani, and her mother Billy Joe. Then we have another case that has recently been going on, although I saw that back in April. Now it's come back on the surface of Cairo Amar Jordan, the 7-year-old boy, 8-year-old boy who was put in a suitcase, a Las Vegas suitcase, by his mother. He was allegedly, they believe he was dead when he was put in the suitcase for whatever reason, because they say that he could have had some kind of, because he was dehydrated and he has been vomiting a lot and all. He could have been having some kind of health illness going on. But whatever it was, nobody needs to give a small child that fate. Children are precious, given to us by our Creator, and to put a child who you carried for 9 months in a suitcase is really terrible. The mother is wanted. There's a big manhunt for her. They still haven't found her. The last time she was seen, allegedly, she was in San Diego, Los Angeles, and those areas. Her co-partner is arrested, another female friend of hers, and law enforcement have their fingerprints on the suitcase. Guys, there's another thing. There was a breaking news today that I put up. There's this manhunt for this guy, and he has killed 4 people. He was going back to jail allegedly, and he knew maybe that his life was kind of over. So he went to this house and he killed 4 of them. But the ex-girlfriend or the baby mama or his wife that he had had domestic violence episodes with before, luckily wasn't hurt, she and the child. So he's on a manhunt. Nobody knows where he is, and this is in Colorado. So you'll need to watch out. People who live there, take care. This guy allegedly has a big neck tattoo on, I believe, the left or right, the one side of his neck, a huge tattoo that you can't miss. So please be vigilant. Look out for such people, especially when there's a manhunt going on. That is really dangerous. And I put up a clip about the violence has risen in New York just in October 42.4% and 60% in robbery and all. People are being pushed in subways, people are being beaten on roads, and robberies being done to them. There's more police presence in all the subways, but the police and the mayor said that ain't helping either. So it seems like people have become more bolder. There's a new epidemic going on, I believe, and I think it has to do with mental health. Some people did not know how to handle it in COVID, and many people lost their jobs and all. So this is part of mental health too. Instead of them accepting, I believe personally, this is my belief, instead of them accepting the loss of their job or their loved one and maybe going to counseling or finding some other way. You can't forget a person you lost, but you can give it time to heal instead of going and terrorizing other innocent people. So there's a real rise in crime everywhere in New York, and that was shocking for me. Here in London, we've had a lot of crime recently. With us, it's more about stabbings, but now for the last couple of months, a lot of shootings have happened. Just today, two guys were shot in Brixton, that's in South London, dead. Every day we hear of at least 3, 4, 5 murders of stabbings going on, especially with youngsters and teenagers. So it's concerning for all parents, especially for me. When my son is in college, he goes to a college a bit far from the house, at least a good hour and 15 minutes, just one way. And he refused to change his college because he's been going there for the last 1.5 years, and all his friends go there. But it's like I'm always so concerned when he's going to college. Would he come back safely? Because everywhere there's just too much violence, too many people who seem to be struggling of depression or rage or anger management or they need anger management. Many things have been happening. People are just taking it out on each other. Was it today is Monday? On last Wednesday, near my block, 2 blocks away from me, I was reading in the papers, because this was everywhere on the news, that 2 women got stabbed. One died at a spot, she was 51 or 50, and the other one was 30 or 32. They both got stabbed. One died instantly, and the other one is in critical condition. And I remember telling that to my older sister. And the area we live in is quite big, so I didn't think it was this side, or they didn't mention where in London it happened. And I remember going to the shops, me and my sister and my young son, who's 18 years old now, the youngest one, and we just saw yellow tapes everywhere, forensics everywhere. Apparently, this just happened 2 blocks from where we live. Literally 5 minutes from us. 3 minutes walk. But there's a pub near that place, so I don't know if this happened linked to the pub. And they said that there was a hunt out for the guy, but allegedly the guy knows the 2 women. So it was really sad. This was going on for 2 days. Different forensic teams were coming. They were talking to neighbors, the police, and all that. And it was just sad to see the 2 people, one person lost their life there, and one is in critical condition. So I think this is affecting everyone in the world. And then I don't know if you all saw the news about South Korea about the stampede that happened, that people stamped on each other. People are lacking oxygen. They were having this Halloween celebration, and like 100,000 people went into the alleyway to go to the other side of where the party, where all the restaurants are. So I guess people like were pushing themselves towards each other. People couldn't breathe. They stamped on each other. It was really sad to see 145 people are dead. Another 100 and something are missing. So my prayers goes out to South Korea, Seoul. It is really sad. There's so much going on in the world. And one life is enough to lose for anyone who cares to be sad for. So there's a lot of violence happening even in London, but over here it isn't that bad like what is happening right now in New York. And I hope they get that in order. It's just sad that some people don't care, basically. And it's not like they have a mental health illness, it's just that they're criminals, they're sociopaths. So this is basically everything that's happening. But guys, look out for that manhunt for the guy who has the lion tattoo, because this is really disturbing. He killed 4 people. The police found his car. They went to his house. He wasn't there. So he could be anywhere, in any car, in any place. So that's important to watch out for. As for Summer Wells's case, I hope that we come to a solution soon. I just don't have that feeling that Don will come out. He's supposed to be coming out, but I think there's something that's preventing it, and I believe possibly they want to take him to the grand jury. All I care is to get justice for Summer Wells and her brothers, and I hope that will happen sometime soon. But I'll keep you posted and updated if anything else changes. And I checked the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's website. There isn't any new details of the Wells, just that the Amber Alert is still out for poor Summer Wells. I just believe that these people are getting the things ready. They're getting the ducks in row to take these through, and whoever's involved to the grand jury. It could be Hunter, it could be Jody Sue Brown, it could be anyone. But I hope they get justice for Summer. Guys, stay blessed, look after yourselves, look after your loved ones. Life is too short. Do good instead of doing bad. Look after your mental health and your physical health. Be good to each other, because there's many people suffering out there that sometimes we are not aware of. Sometimes just a simple smile can save someone's day. So remember, there's a lot of good out there, although we see a lot of bad. And sometimes human beings are actually searching for good results, but like they say, it's not what you say, it's how you do it. So like in the Quentin case, I'm sure that all these YouTube creators want justice, but this is not the way to get justice. This is the wrong way of getting justice. We are just pressuring the law enforcement more, who are actually really in the landfill using a 500,000 budget just to find Quincy. And if we keep on attacking his mother and grandmother, it's not like whatever they say will be helpful in court, because their houses are bugged anyway, believe me. It's just that they're disturbing the neighbors. There's an old guy who lives even near Quincy's property who's been begging them that he's sick, not to make noises and to stop blowing their bull horns. But some people just don't have self-respect, and that is something that That is something that you carry as the ethical moral from the start. Either you have it or you don't have it. But some people don't understand, most of the YouTube creators don't understand. This ain't only about subscribers, views, super chats, being popular, being known. Now they're arguing with each other. It's always one YouTube creator to another YouTube creator saying nonsense about each other. This is all personality disorders that they all need mental health counseling for. That's all I can say. Seriously. They're attention seekers, they're narcissistic, they're behaving, they are the ones who want attention. They're not getting attention for Quentin. They're acting like they're law enforcement. They're acting like they're the press. And that's wrong. If they're against what happened to Quentin, why don't they just go and make flyers? Maybe, just maybe, somebody has seen his face with the mother taking him somewhere or something. But instead of them making all this nonsense and then pretending later on to say, yes, we care, we're here for the case, we live in a motel, we're eating takeaway and junk food just to get justice. Y'all are not supposed to be getting justice. Justice will be gotten by law enforcement taking them to court with evidence. What y'all are doing is just narcissistic behavior. Straight out. Narcissistic disrespect, making it about themselves and no longer about Quentin Simon and his family. As for Billy Joel and Leilani, whatever name is, they're going to get whatever's coming to them. That's the reason law enforcement are in the landfills. Anyway, guys, look after yourself. Take care. Love y'all. Stay blessed. Remember to smile. Remember to be happy. Life is too short. And don't entertain nonsense, I beg you. By entertaining these people, by subscribing to them, by sending super chats to them, that is your choice, but that makes you or that makes me a part of the problem too. We can use positive vibes, good energies, prayers. Why aren't they making even a prayer vigil instead of making pumpkins and sitting there and blowing bullhorns and making baby sounds and all that? That is so disrespectful. That is so concerning, the behavior that they're doing. They have no respect for themselves and they have no respect for the neighbors of Quentin. So that's really terrible. Stay blessed, guys. Look after yourselves. Bye.